We had a short technical glitch there. I apologize for that. So let's start from the top. My name is Mandy Duval. I'm the editor of Openly Curious. It's a new thinking destination for journalism on the World Wide Web. And today I'm speaking to someone that I've known for about 8 years, but known virtually for 8 years. His name is Rafiq Phillips. And I think the first time I saw you, Rafiq, you were on Carte Blanche and speaking about kind of the interwebs, this thing called the interwebs, on Carte Blanche. And it was quite a long time ago, 8 years ago. And we met yesterday, and recently we talked about kind of how you'd been through a period of extreme burnout and almost what one would call the long night of the soul. But you're bouncing back, and I champion that. I just like, yeah, Rafiq, well done, because we have kind of parallel stories in a way. We've been through kind of similar life events, yeah. And yeah. So can you tell us, Rafiq, what happened? What led to your burnout?
Well, I'm trying to put this as politically correct as possible. I ended up working too much. I worked from sunrise to sunset almost every day, and it just got the most of me. At that point in time, like, it wasn't just the work that was getting to me, but also the work situation where my morals and ethics weren't agreeing with those of my business partner. And all what happened was it caused a tremendous amount of stress, and along with being working too much, that it was too much, I just went out and I took a break. Yeah. So this overworking was the main cause of the burnout.
Yes. So why do we do this to ourselves? Because I've also been through a period of extreme overwork, and it's almost like you know what you're doing, you know kind of the danger signals, you can feel the exhaustion setting in, but still you push yourself. Why do you think we do that to ourselves, Rafiq? Why
Yeah,
do we?
from personal experience, I was pushed by my business partner at the time, like, yeah, you can do more, you can do more. We need to make more money, more. Like, to me, it just boiled down to greed. And like, I'm not a greedy person, but when you involve greed, like, everything else just falls by the wayside until you get more whatever it is you're after. More money, more time, or not more time, but more, especially money, when money is involved. Like, let's make more money, and just having a carrot dangled in front of you, and yeah, what can happen. I think just greed is a huge factor in leading to burnout. If you are too greedy and you aren't careful with your health, the worst can happen.
I can really relate to that, Rafiq, because if I think back in the periods in my life, uh, money or the need for security or the need to provide for my family was a massive motivator in why I pushed myself. Because at the stage I was kind of very much a breadwinner in the home, and needed to put a roof over our family's head, and needed to there's this kind of whole dream that if we earn more, we can have more, we can be more. It's almost like money equates to happiness in a way. And what has your experience done for your understanding of money? Kind of, what is your relationship with money like now? And if I can ask you to come a little bit closer to the microphone.
Okay, right now my relationship with money is one of there is enough for me to put a roof over my head and to prosper. but I don't see it as the be all and end all of my existence any longer. It's just it's a tool to get me the things I need, or to help me achieve what I need to do. But it's not the final goal any longer. Like, I try to live a much balanced life and a more balanced lifestyle than I used to in the past.
But let's go back to that day, the day that you landed up in hospital. What exactly happened? I mean, how did you know, kind of, look, I'm burnt out now, things are wrong. What physically manifests, kind of, what were you going through?
Yeah, like, I was just extremely paranoid and anxious simultaneously. I was just like, I live in the middle of the city, and just all the noises and sounds from outside just got me, and it made me extremely paranoid just hearing traffic outside. And that was I love living in the city. So that was a huge sign for me. Was like, wow, the usually the sounds that I enjoy are now the sounds that are making me anxious and paranoid. I need to step out of this, and that's what I did. And admitted myself to the hospital with the help of my friends and family. Because, yeah, it was no good. It was the things I enjoyed became the things that I started to fear all of a sudden, and that was a immediate sign for me that I couldn't. There was something definitely wrong.
That's so an amazingly nurturing act. Um, you're telling me that you admitted yourself to hospital because you felt something was happening to you, that you were experiencing something that was causing you a great deal of mental discomfort and mental anguish. And the fact that you gathered your family and your friends around you, and kind of that together they admitted you to hospital. It's kind of, for me to hear that, it's it makes me feel enormous respect for you that you were able to do that, which is kind of for your greater good. And I say that because I too, I had a stroke many years ago, and it affected my brain function extremely badly. My brain stopped producing a chemical called noradrenaline, and it was incredibly painful for me because I had to admit to myself that my brain was no longer functioning the way it used to. And I too had to sign myself into hospital kind of with the diagnosis that my brain is no longer functioning the way that I needed to, the way I needed to be kind of functional and to work. And now I need chemical support. I need medical intervention. Was that a big moment for you as well?
Yeah, no, I've been on medication for a large part, more than half of my life. So it wasn't a big thing for me because I was epileptic when I was younger. So I've always been on similar medication. So I'm still on the same medication right now, and my health has gone. Like, once I've gotten the balance right back into my life, like, my health's been a lot better ever since, and also getting rid of the people and the situations that cause the stress. So so now that I'm in more control of the situations I put myself in, and the situations that I avoid, like, I feel that I am 100 times better than I was before. I'm a lot more calm, a lot more relaxed now too.
Great. Rafiq, when we spoke yesterday, because we met yesterday, you said that you spent 6 weeks in hospital, and after coming out of hospital, kind of one of the big things that you learned was to say no. And how did you learn to say no?
Yeah, no, like, I learned that in hospital, actually, where you are, like, with the people that you're spending time with, and they always try and influence your decisions and what you're going to eat, and smoke the cigarettes you smoke, or the sweets you eat, or whatever. And just being able to say no is extremely important. And same thing, like I learned that from being in hospital. When I came out, when there is work that doesn't agree with my personal beliefs, I am now saying no. No matter how much you want to pay, you want to pay me to do the work for you, I'm still not going to do it because I don't believe in it. Especially when it comes to casinos and gambling and alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. And apart from my religious beliefs, like I don't believe in supporting those industries. So I've been saying no to lots of that type of work, and in situations where I would be exposed to that as well. So it's just no. It's two letters, and it's so powerful. It's sometimes even more powerful than saying yes too much. Because if you're just a yes man all the time, like when will you have time for yourself if you're just saying yes to everything?
Do you understand why you said yes so often? I mean, what is it that drove you to say yes all the time and to take on more and to take on more?
Well, it was two things. I think one was I always be I'm used to be, or I am super confident, and I believe I can do anything I put my mind to. So I just, if someone asked me to do a certain task and I found it challenging, I would immediately say yes. And the other one is I would always love to try to please as many people as possible. So when people ask me to do favors or to do some work for them, I would always say, yeah, sure, okay, I'll have a look. But now, so those are the two main reasons that I would always say yes. One is because I find it challenge me, and two, I wanted to please everybody. So now I am much more selective in the yeses that I say, and the work that I take on as well.
Now, the experience, and I relate a lot to what you're saying. The experience is the experience one of kind of like I'm cured, I've conquered that, or is the experience one of kind of like you have to manage it every day, like every day the struggle to say no, and kind of is it about every day making better choices,
I,
or
I yeah, I think I'm more of a work in progress.
uh,
So it's just I have to constantly remind myself not to say yes. Like when you asked me a question yesterday, I immediately said, okay, sure, I'll make time. And that was just that was straight after I said I'm saying no more often.
yes.
So you have to constantly remind yourself to say no, especially if you say yes most of your life.
Perhaps one of the tools we need to teach ourselves is kind of, I'll get back to you on that. You know what I mean? The like a rule, that if someone asks you something, because I know my reflex, I'm a people pleaser as well, and my reflex is I want to make people happy, and so my kind of instinct is yes, okay, can you go to Mars tomorrow? Yes, of course I can. I'll start building my rocket tonight. I'll be there by tomorrow. Yeah, but
Yeah.
when people ask you, and particularly there's a tension when you get asked something, perhaps one tool could be to give yourself the space to think about things and to say kind of, this is not this is a mere suggestion, because I don't believe in telling people what to do, but I'm kind of thinking out loud for myself as well. Is perhaps it's a good idea to give ourselves space and just say, interesting thought, I'll get back to you.
Yeah,
and
that's
then we can think about it. Yeah.
I should actually take that advice on myself, because I need to think about things a lot more carefully before I commit to anything.
Yeah. Rafiq, what are you doing to maintain the work work-life balance well. What are you doing kind of every day to make sure you don't get into that space again where you're overworking? And because we know that kind of extreme stress, and we know that overworking is bad for us. We know that it's bad for our immune system. We know it's bad for our hormone system. We know that our brain doesn't function the way it should. We go into like a fight or flight type state. How are you engaging? What are you doing kind of every day to make sure you don't go there again?
I check my mail a lot less than I used to. That was the first thing I started doing. Was I check my mail only twice a day now. Like I'll check it in the morning and then in the afternoon, and then get real work done in between. Because if you live your life around your inbox, you're just giving away your time to other people on other people's schedules, or living on other people's schedules, and you will have difficulty in finding a balance in your own life if you are constantly interrupted by other people's requests and questions and queries. So the first thing I did was check my email a lot less than I used to before, and I think that has helped a lot. In, in that has been the biggest help for me. One of the biggest, yes.
I love that idea because it's very much about taking back control and taking back kind of your power and doing things the way that you want to do it rather than kind of being reactive or kind of living at the whim of someone else. Are there any other things that you're doing kind of, are you, from a physical exercise perspective or meditation or, are you playing more than you used to?
Well, I pray.
Mm-hmm.
I pray often and as much as I can. And then I do a lot more exercise. I just completed the Impi challenge a few weeks ago, or it's been over a month now. But that was a nice exercise, and hopefully going to be doing the Impi challenge again later this year. And it was like just getting out and training for that was a great experience in its own, and it released lots of endorphins and got the blood flowing. And then I also do a bit of running as well, ever so often. Not as much as I like, but um, yeah, I try being as outdoors as much as I can. I used to be, I still am a web addict, but I've tried and toned down my interactions in the online space a lot, and just being a more private person instead of just like telling and sharing everything I used to a couple of years ago. So I try and mind my own business on the internet a lot more than I used to back in the day. And I found that has caused my stress levels to go down quite a lot as well, because I used to get frustrated when I saw things happening online. But why should I be if I have no power to change that? And I'll only focus on things which I have control over, instead of looking at things like politics and bad decisions some people are making on the internet by things that they are saying or doing that might upset others. So I try to remove myself from the 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 clutter and the noise happening online, and just focusing on what's important to me. Yeah.
So almost like an aloofness has been, or creating a little bit of a distance from the internet has been quite a healthy thing for you to do. Now you've started some businesses. Tell me about this business, the businesses that you're involved in right now, what they are and kind of how they're going, how they're doing.
Okay. At the moment, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary, but that is iDrive.co.za. It's a platform that helps people who want to learn to drive to connect with qualified driving schools throughout South Africa. It services about 150,000 individuals a year, and it continually grows at about 30% year on year every year for the past few years. And just like every month we were growing consistently, and for the past, yeah, every month there are new instructors joining, and there are more and more people using iDrive.co.za to learn how to drive. And then the other thing I do as well is I do some search engine optimization and search marketing consulting to brands of all sizes, from little startups to larger corporates. And I get to travel the world and consult to companies about search marketing, which I'm very thankful for. So those are the two things that I'm involved in at this point in time, and there are might be a third and a fourth, but I cannot talk about it right now, and I'm also not that involved at this point because it's all about like I'm trying to focus mainly on iDrive.co.za and my search marketing consulting at this point in time, and I don't want to go to get to a position where I'm handling 100 doing 101 things simultaneously. So I'm being a lot more focused and doing less, but trying to achieve more, if that makes sense.
Less is more makes a lot of sense to me. Thanks very much, Rafiq, for spending time with us today. And I'd love to have you back when you do have time, and for us to talk more about search marketing, perhaps to do a session where we give where you give advice to entrepreneurs about how to affect search marketing in kind of smarter and more cost-effective ways. I really value your time and kind of have deep respect for your journey, Rafiq, because there's much that resonates very deeply with me, and I thank you for telling your story.
Thank you for your time too. It was my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye.